allows that. So that's in the Quran. That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, I'm so sorry. I was coughing, so I didn't hear the middle part that you said.
Are you
If
okay
you could just,
though?
yeah, I was just coughing, and I was like, I had to mute myself. But just can you just repeat the middle part so that I can actually get what you said?
Yeah, so I was just saying that it's the Quran itself that allows for relations with girls who haven't hit puberty yet. It's the Quran that does that. So yes, there's stuff like that in the Hadith with Muhammad and Aisha, but that's for me that's secondary issue. The Quran is primary because that's supposed to be the word of Allah itself. So
So essentially, you're saying that Islam promotes pedophilia?
yes, yes.
Wow, that is a statement and a half.
It's hard. It'll have to be
It's
something
a
that
very no. I mean, that is an assumption. That is a statement that's heavy. I agree, but I think to say that the whole book promotes pedophilia is crazy. I mean, I can show you and speak from. Sorry.
Now, I wouldn't say the whole book. I would just say that there's a place in the book that allows for that. I can show you if you like. I have no problem showing it to you.
Yeah, please show me.
All right. So it's in chapter 65, verse 4. Sorry. Oh, you have it? Nice. Who took me off the big screen?
Yeah, we'll read it out. As for your women, past the age of menstruation, in case you do not know, their waiting period, their iddah, is 3 months. And those who have not menstruated as well, lam yahidna. As for those who are pregnant, their waiting period ends with delivery. And whoever is mindful of Allah, he will make their matters easy for them.
All right, so just to be specific, let's break this down slowly. So this verse is talking about divorce. Like that's literally what the chapter name is. It's talaq, which means divorce. Right? Now it gives you 3 categories of females. It gives you the first category are the ones who are too old to menstruate. So read that part one more time, the beginning.
Yeah. And as for your women past the age of menstruation,
I pause there.
no.
So they're divorcing women who are past the age of menstruation, right? And so now these women, they have what is called an iddah, which is the waiting period before she can move on to another man. And the waiting period, the iddah, is to make sure that she's not pregnant. So it's 3 months. To make sure she's not pregnant so there's no confusion who the baby father is and so on and so forth. All right? So older women, when you divorce them, their waiting period is 3 months. And it also says the same for those who have not menstruated as well. So girls who have not even menstruated are also being divorced, and their waiting period is also 3 months. And then for the pregnant woman, when she's getting divorced, her waiting period is until she delivers the baby. So our contention is with the second category, the second group, which are the ones who have not menstruated yet. So they're divorcing girls before they hit puberty.
Sorry, I've got a sore throat, so I'm not trying to.
No, yeah, take your time.
Okay, no, I'm not trying to breathe into your mic like that, but no, I'm really conscious of the fact that there's like 650 people on here, but I've got a real cold. But anyway,
trust me, Zaynab, this is a chill crowd. I promise. We're chill here. We chill. We're lighthearted. Okay, it's all right.
Okay. So from the verse that you read, right? I've actually pulled it up. Because I read that before. And basically, in my understanding to it, when talking about those who have not menstruated, it's in reference to those who are above puberty but who haven't menstruated, so haven't had their monthly cycle yet. It doesn't refer to children because obviously it's talking about talaq, which is divorce. But it's talking about those who are with child, who are having their monthly cycle, those who could potentially be pregnant. Obviously, to avoid confusion with baby father, and obviously in Islam we really do value women so much so that you can't just divorce a pregnant woman while she's about to give birth to your child. So that's actually a sin to do that, and men can't divorce pregnant women if they're expecting their baby. They've got to wait till she delivers so that it's not a stressful pregnancy. And from my understanding, it talks about the fact that if she hasn't had her monthly cycle, you just have to wait that she's not pregnant. Do you see what I mean? But
of course. So this is why, because the verse says that they haven't menstruated at all. The word in Arabic is lam yahedna. Lam yahedna, meaning they have not menstruated in the past. It's never happened. Lam yahedna. So they've never menstruated, right? And so just to let you know that this isn't just like my interpretation or, just me misinterpreting the verse. If we go to the scholars, I'm going to show you what the scholars said. This is Ibn Kathir. Ibn Kathir breaks this down and tells us what it's talking about exactly. So go ahead, Black Doctor. So just to let Ibn Kathir, Islamic scholar, really held high when it comes to Quranic interpretation and history and stuff. So, and we'll show you more. It's not just him. We'll show you what they all say. They all have a consensus on this. All the Islamic scholars. Go ahead and read that. You do.
The iddah of those in menopause and those who do not have menses. Allah the Exalted clarifies the waiting period of the woman in menopause, and that is the one whose menstruation has stopped due to her older age. Her iddah is 3 months instead of the 3 monthly cycles for those who menstruate, which is based upon the ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah. The same for the young who have not reached the years of menstruation. Their iddah is 3 months like those in menopause. This is the meaning of his saying, and for those who have no courses.
So that's Ibn Kathir, very authoritative, and he makes it clear that the understanding of this verse is that it's talking about women in menopause, right? Those are too old to have their menstruation. And then also it's talking about young girls who are too young to have menstruated. They haven't reached the age where they can menstruate yet. So even he is saying, yeah, the Quran is pretty clear on this, that these are the ones that are being divorced. Now, if you don't mind, I'll show you a couple more. I'm going to get the big screen now. Just to show you, we're not just picking and choosing, it's not us making stuff up. We're not picking and choosing. We'll show you just a few of all of them. All of them say the same thing. There's not one that's different. So this is Jalalain. These are 2 scholars together, the 2 Jalals, they call them, right? So he's, breaking down the verse. And as for those of your women who no longer expect men to menstruate, if you have any doubts about their waiting period, their prescribed waiting period shall be 3 months. And also for those who have not yet menstruated because of their young age, their period shall be 3 months. Both cases apply to other than those whose spouses have died. So they, go on talking about the pregnant women and yada, yada, yada. So that's that, right? So even Jalalain gives it about the young girls who have not menstruated yet. We already read Ibn Kathir. Let's go down here to Maududi. His is kind of long. Let me find the relevant part. 3 months of divorce, yada, yada, yada. That's one whose courses are irregular due to so he talks about irregular courses. longer menstruations, his is the longest one. He doesn't get to the point a lot. Sorry.
God bless. God bless.
All right, here it is. So here's a paragraph. Oh, that's Sil. What up, Sil? So here it says, now they may not have menstruated as yet either because of young age or delayed menstrual discharge, as it happens in the case of some women, or because of no discharge at all throughout life, which, though rare, may also be the case. In any case, the waiting period of such a woman is the same as of the woman who has stopped menstruation, that is, 3 months from the time divorced was pronounced. So Ibn Maududi includes young girls as being part of this category of ones who have not yet menstruated, right? So he talks about they're young, or they are, they have a little issue, delayed menstrual discharge, right? A medical issue, which is rare, but can be a case as well. So he includes both. That's talking about girls who haven't menstruated yet, and also ones who maybe have a physical disability. All right. So here it is. Therefore, making mention of the waiting period of the girls who have not yet menstruated. Watch. This is important. Therefore, making mention of the waiting period of the girls who have not yet menstruated clearly proves that it is not only permissible to give away the girl in marriage at this age, but it is also permissible for the husband to consummate marriage with her. So these are what all the scholars are saying. If you want to give a comment, you can. But yeah.
No, I'm literally just listening to you. No, I mean, so Islam basically, long story short, like I don't want to monologue or anything, but Islam came to cover all rare cases, all kind of cases, so not like any scenario possible. It tries to allude to any random weird scenario as possible, because it is the book, like we consider Islam and the Quran to be the last revelation. So for mankind, there's not going to be another revelation after the Quran. That's what Muslims believe, right? So even in situations where you're referring to what you would consider like girls before their period and stuff, personally, I didn't see any reference to child or children. And also when looking at, the idea of periods in Islam and like cleanliness is a part of our deen. So it's a part of our religion, right? There is a big importance. That's why Muslims are generally very, very, very hygienic people. We wash down there 5 times a day. We do all the wudu, which involves washing. Like you'll never find a stinky Muslim. Like if they on deen, they are not smelly, because we are told to purify ourselves as much as possible, and we are rewarded for that, right? So in reference to periods, when you're talking about the menstruation cycle, it's really important to recognize that Islam forbids a man to divorce his wife while she's on her period. There is nothing wrong with him marrying her during that time, but he cannot consummate, so he cannot have sex with her while she's on her period, because obviously that talks about it could damage her insides. You're not supposed to generally but no, I get what you're saying. I'm coming back. I promise you I'm coming back to the part where you're talking about menstruation. But just essentially, like you cannot in Islam you cannot consummate a marriage if she's on her period. She has to be clean. Like that is a big thing.
Yeah, this is
so
not
in reference to you talking about periods and iddah and a 3-month period. Sorry,
I'm not talking about just simply periods.
I'm
talking about girls
who haven't reached their period.
Yes. And the reason why is because they're too young. Look, you see, like we showed you this, and all of them said this. The same for the young who have not reached the years of menstruation. What does that mean for young girls who haven't reached the years where they're able to? What does that mean?
Well, I mean, realistically, Islam came over 1400 years ago at a time where child marriage, even in the West, you know, child marriage, incest, all of that was very, very, very normal. That doesn't mean it is something that we promote or we tell children to do, because if that was the case, I would have been married at 9.
The words of Allah are only back then,
Um,
logic. That's what she's trying to say.
Sorry?
The words of Allah could only apply back then, right? Is that what you're saying? It cannot apply nowadays?
No, I'm not saying that. Respectfully, please don't put words in my mouth, because I didn't finish. You just interrupted me. And that was not what I was saying. Okay.
So look,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not alluding. I really wasn't trying to.
Yeah, it's okay. But we're
Okay. So basically, that was the time where it was a big thing, right? So it's important to recognize that children as young as 9, even younger than 9, were being married off. Sorry? Yeah.
Speaking about what other nations do is not relevant to what the Quran is teaching. If the Quran itself is permitting this, then it's permitting something that is wrong, no matter whether it was something normal people were doing or not, which is not true, but just granting it, even if it was normal for people to be doing this sick act, it's still sick. It's still wrong. Okay, so I need you to focus on this, that the Quran, look, the same for the young who have not reached the years of menstruation. They're the ones who are being divorced, married, and slept with. You see what I'm saying?
I understand your logic entirely, and I'm not trying to be rude when I ask you this question, but you know how there's like the Old Testament and the New Testament, and there are some violent verses in different scriptures, right? How do people consider and take that into consideration when they, you know, promote peace, when some biblical scriptures and some Talmudic scriptures are incredibly violent and also promote the unalivement of innocent people, yet people just completely ignore that because they say that, oh,
let me answer you. I'll answer you real quick and bring you back.
Of course.
The difference. The difference is that none of those people are innocent. These are entire nations that have rebelled against God, sacrificed their children, have orgies, rebel against God. They continuously sin. And in fact, before God sent Israel into battle against these nations to take their land as his judgment against them for sin, he gave them 400 years. He gave them 400 years to turn to God, to repent of their sin and their idolatry before God cast his judgment on them to wipe them out or to take their land and give it to Israel. So he gave them time, and he put up with their sin for a very long time before he finally cast his judgment on those nations. So we have instances where God gives his wrath on a nation because of their sin. This is not that. This is a permissibility for men to marry, sleep with, and divorce immature girls.
Okay. With your logic, how many 9-year-old Muslim girls do you know that are married to 65-year-old men?
There's a few. If we pull up online, we have a few. Matter of fact, there was recently, I don't know if it was about a year ago now, where a young girl, I believe she was either 7 or 10, where she got married to a man. He consummated the marriage with her, and she died that night.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, with Islam, right, we have categories, and we have what's it called? Like, you need to fulfill these categories in order to get married. So I can pull that up for you to show you. But a lot of Islam is literally common sense, and it tells us it invokes us to use our intellect. It's not a religion for dumb people. Like, you're not supposed to blindly follow Islam. Islam is backed by science and everything like that. But I'm not going to start on a monologue. There is literally like a category. There are 4, I think more than 4, but there are categories that you must fulfill as Muslims to be able to get married. If you don't fulfill those, then you cannot get married.
I have the conditions.
One of those conditions is that you need to be able to like take up a responsibility. Like, you are supposed to, be able to basically be able to be a wife or be able to be a husband. I personally do not think. No, it's true, because a 9-year-old cannot take on household responsibilities.
I have, according to your Islamic scholars, your jurisprudence, I have the ruling on marriage and what makes them qualified. I have it right here.
Are you able to you read it to me so I can go ahead?
So look, so this is the Encyclopedia of Jurisprudence, right? So the ruling. Now here's the issue that's being brought up here. Second section, the ruling on marrying a young girl. So what's the ruling on that? The first issue, the father's marriage to a young virgin daughter. It is permissible for the father to marry his young virgin daughter. Now, just to be clear, guys, it's not saying that a father can marry his own daughter. It's saying that a father can give his virgin daughter in marriage. Okay, so let's just be clear. I don't want you guys going around saying, oh, look, it's it. No, let's be clear. Let's be fair. And let's read with understanding. It's not saying that a father can marry his own daughter. It's saying that a father can marry off his young daughter. All right, so let's just make clear. All right, so we got that understood. So it is permissible for the father to marry his young virgin daughter off, basically, without her permission. This is agreed upon by the 4 schools of jurisprudence. Hanafi, why does it say on ownership? Hanafi, I think Shafi'i, Hanbalis, what is this? Malikis. I don't know why I mistranslated that right there. And it was reported that there was consensus on this. So they all agreed that a father is permissible for a father to marry off his little girl without her permission. Now, what's the evidence they give? They give reasoning. Here's the evidence. First, from the book itself, from the Quran. What verse do they quote to back up the evidence that a father is permitted to give his little girl in marriage? Here it is. God Almighty said, and for those of your women who have despaired of menstruation, if you are in doubt, their waiting period is 3 months. And those who have not menstruated. So it's Al-Talaq, verse 4, exactly what we just read earlier, 65:4. So that's what they use. Now, what is the meaning? All right. So here's the final part, and then you can jump in.
Am I able to interject, or are you going to finish your point?
Let me just read it because this is the important part.
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
So they quote the Quran verse, and then they say the meaning behind the evidence that they're using. So it says, God Almighty ruled that the divorce of a young girl who has not menstruated is valid, and divorce does not occur except in a valid marriage. So the verse includes the permissibility of marrying a young girl. There is no party with whom her marriage is valid unless her father marries her. So the condition is that her father gives her a marriage. And actually, this is a mistranslation. It's not young girl. It's a minor girl, a little girl. Right, Sil?
So yeah, exactly, brother.
Yeah.
And Logic, just to finish it, would you be able to read the third matter as well, since you already had it on? Third matter, if you scroll down.
I wanted to touch on this first because you wanted to say.
Okay, I got you.
You say something over, bro. So again, Zaynab, this is the consensus, the ruling, the official ruling of the law on marrying young girls.
No, I completely. Okay, I'm not going to say I completely understand because I don't understand how we're referring to a surah that's on talaq, which is divorce, to talk about marriage. But I'm just going to say I'll pull up I'll read this, okay? It says, it is haram for the guardian, so the wali of the woman, to force her to marry someone she does not want or does not like. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings upon him, said the virgin should not be given in marriage until her permission has been sought. This is narrated by Al-Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, and this basically says that you cannot marry off your daughter. So I couldn't even be married off without my father coming to me and asking me if it's okay, or then my nikah, so that's Islamic marriage, would not be valid. In that case, that's why every single forced marriage in Islam is not considered a valid nikah. So it's basically, it's null and void. It doesn't exist. So she could go marry next man, and that's not a thing.
The hadith Logic?
Yep.
Also, if you took,
Can you give us that hadith, please, sister, with all due
I
respect
just
to you?
read it. I just read
Yeah,
it. You want me to
no.
get it?
Just give us that hadith, please.
It
Yeah.
says it is haram for the guardian.
No. Give us the hadith. Sorry for interrupting.
It was
Give us the
it
hadith.
was narrated by Al-Bukhari in Sahih Muslim 1419. Come, to go read it.
Sahih al-Bukhari 1419. This is the hadith.
Sorry,
So the
do you
hadith
want me
is
to,
Sahih
do you want me to
al-Bukhari
open my camera?
1419.
Shall I show you my camera? Do you want me to like show you it? Okay, hang on.
You could just give us the hadith number, not a problem. If it's from Sahih al-Bukhari.
Not only that, but if we're going with the virgin's consent, we got to see what her consent is, sister. If you're there, you're probably concentrating on something.
I'm here. Sorry, no, I'm listening. But he just wants me to, because he thinks I'm not making this up. Like, I don't have time.
It's an Islam Q&A, which is
Let's see.
And then I'm talking about, because I'm literally, it says it here. Do you see? And then it's also talking about whether, because I'm curious to learn about my religion as well. Like, I'm not a scholar like that. So when you say things, I want to check them as well.
Yeah.
So then it talks about, and then it talks about marriage and like why a forced marriage is it even valid. And it says if the marriage contract has been done and she's even reluctant, it's an invalid contract, meaning it does not exist. You cannot, silence doesn't mean yes. If she's scared or she's afraid to talk about it like that, it's an invalid nikah. Like, you cannot do that. That's why, bro, I'm 25. If my dad could force me to get married, I'm from an ethnic background, my dad would. Trust me, he'd be like, come on, like, we need to go get you married. You're 25. Yeah. But it's against our religion. Like, my dad cannot force me. He can show me and he's showing me people, but he can never say, you have to get married.
What you're showing us is just not, it's not proving anything, to be honest with you. It's just writings from Islamic QA. It's not even given a...
I like that she went to Islam Q&A because we're going to use Islam Q&A to prove the point here.
Listen, I use a lot of things, not just Islam Q&A.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. But look, notice what, in this hadith, what the consent of a little virgin is. Watch what the consent is. This is Sahih Muslim 1419a. It says...
Can I ask you a question, though? Like, I know you're busy, but can I ask you, like, a real, just general question? Really
sure. If it's
my general question to you is this what makes you think that Islam is a lie? Like, marriage?
It's one of them.
Or is it one? Okay.
It's one of them. Yeah, it's one of them. It's a big issue for me. Not just marriage, it's the permissibility of relations with little girls. That's the problem.
So we don't. I promise you, none of us are sitting here condoning pedophilia, because if anything,
you'll be surprised, Zaynab. I've done this for a very long time. There are Muslims that have come up and said, "Yeah, so what? That's what the Quran says. Yes, that's lawful. So what? You know."
But the thing is, like, on a real note, like, the thing is, a lot of these ex-Muslims who were in Islam, who speak Arabic, who have now left the fold of Islam, do actually come on and spread propaganda and indoctrination.
No, I'm not talking about ex-Muslims. I'm not talking about ex-Muslims. Here on this app, there are Muslims who come up and they'll say, yes, so what? Yes, this is what Allah has made permissible. Whatever Allah permits, you know, Allahu Alam. Yeah, so what? I don't have a problem with it. They come up and they defend this. They don't deny it.
For me, it's just like the logic of, okay, if Islam promotes child marriage, aside from countries like third world countries and villages and all of that who are following culture as opposed to religion, like, you don't see where deen is actually followed. You don't see a 9-year-old with a 60-year-old.
I can pull up so many articles, Zaynab. I can pull up so many articles for you of little girls being given to older men in marriage in Muslim countries. I can pull all of this.
What part of the world? Like, I'm Afghan, Persian,
in the Middle East,
and Pakistani, and those types of things happen. Like, we also have.
Okay, I'll show you.
I'll show you. Like, I can show you that happens, but that's also them following conservatism and culture as opposed to Islam.
That's fine, but look, I don't even care what I don't care if a Muslim never did this. The fact that it is taught in the religion itself is what the problem is. I don't like, if Muslims practicing the religion or not practicing the religion doesn't make the religion true or false to me. What makes the religion true or false is what the religion itself says. So if the religion itself, as we're showing in its own sources, is giving allowance for this, that's the problem, whether Muslims do it or not. So look, here's the consent of the girl. A woman without a husband must not be married until she is consulted, and a virgin must not be married until her permission is sought. They asked the Prophet of Allah.
Yeah, that's
Let me finish. Let me finish
Okay.
it. This is important.
Sorry.
The virgin, how is her consent? How can her consent be solicited? You know, how can you get the consent of the virgin? Watch what Muhammad says. He said that she keeps silence. So her silence is her consent. The little virgin. If she's quiet, that's a yep. You got the green light.
Bro, I don't know what to tell you because
You don't think that's crazy?
listen, what the hell? Like, bro, listen, I'm telling you straight up, like, that's not the Islam I follow. I don't know what you're putting
I
up.
know.
I've not enough knowledge to debate you on this. I'm just gonna be straight up. I'm not a scholar. Like, I don't have the knowledge to chat to you. You need to speak to someone who's like a scholar who can
I've spoken to
I'm
people on
just
this
a general Muslim from, like, I'm trying to learn on my deen, and these types of things I learn it every day.
This
but it's
is
like
the
you need
deen.
to speak. No, you need to
But
speak
this
to
is the
someone. King, not even king, peasant. Listen to me, okay? Sorry, I'm not calling. No, I'm being straight up. Like, I'm not a scholar. I can't answer the questions. I'm just gonna respectfully dip. Like, it's not fair for me.
Wait, don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. I'm not challenging you, Zaynab. Look, listen.
Okay.
So notice how I didn't like try to make you, explain something, or no, I didn't do nothing. I just was sharing with you my knowledge and what I have found, right? So I don't expect you to have an answer for everything or whatever. I'm just giving you what I know and a part of why I reject Islam. This is why, because look, I know that when you said it's so important, and what you said was so important, that this is not the Islam you know. This is not the deen that you follow. And I know that. I know that you have a particular view of Islam. You learned Islam as you were growing up or whatever, in a certain way. And so therefore, what we're showing you is not what you are familiar with. I know that. What I'm saying is that you have to, when you actually look into what Islam actually teaches, you look into the actual sources, look into what the Quran actually says, look into what the scholars actually say, you will see that the Islam you know is not the true Islam at all. I promise you. That's all I'll leave you with, okay? Just think on that. That's all I'll leave you with.
By the way, Logic, the Asbab and Nuzul of the ayah, Sister Zaynab, the reason why this ayah was revealed, just to give you a little bit of a heads up, Ubay bin Ka'b, he's the companion of the Prophet. If we go to Tafsir of Ibn Kathir, I'm just, giving you a quick one, that he said because of some young ones, and he clarifies it, he gives you, three categories, because it is talking about three categories, and he mentions some of the young one as well. This is why the ayah was revealed, the asbab al-nuzul of the ayah. Okay, now what Logic showed you, this is in regarding the four madhahib, al-fiqhiyya al-arba'a. They give you the rulings of the marriage. Do you know, Zaynab, sister, with all due respect, that, the ones who have not reached the years of menstruation, obviously he's talking about the young ones, the little child ones, their iddah is 3 months. Now, the iddah has been used for what? We know for a fact the iddah has been used for sexual intercourse. Why? Because we can see, according to 3349, it's talking about the believing women. So if you do not touch them, and they have, they have no iddah waiting for you, period, for them to count. Now, what did Ahmed bin Hanbal says in Abu Ubaid? Once she reaches 9 years old, she is forced to bear intercourse. This is what the scholar says. This is 90% of the scholars that says, and they're all agreeing to it. Logic showed you many of the scholars. Ibn Kathir, Al-Jalalain, the four madhahib, which is Al-Fiqhiyya Al-Arba'a, Shafi'i, Wal-Maliki, Wal-Hanabila, all of these. you know. And we could go in deep, but we don't want to obviously, you know, overwhelm you, you know. But we want you to please. We love you. We don't hate you. We want you just to kind of do your own research and think about it. Think about it. Exactly. That's all. You know.
Respectfully, guys, like, I'm just gonna say, I don't have enough knowledge to come and defend my religion like this, and I feel like it's not fair for me to be advocating on Islam on a panel with like 750 people where I do not have that type of knowledge to call it out. So I feel like it's best that you go to people who actually can, you know, come and counteract what you're saying so that it's fair. Like for me, I'm just, you know, from London, like I don't have that type of knowledge. I was born in a religion that teaches and doesn't teach that, and obviously, alhamdulillah, I'm good with what I have. But you need somebody who can give you that. They're obviously in every religion, you're not going to have a pastor or a nun or like you're not going to have the top level people who know their religion like that. For me personally, I'm just a normal, you know, person. I'm learning every day myself. And I just don't think it's fair for me to come up here. So I respect you guys, and I hope that you guys can find somebody who is able to maybe show you a different understanding. But I personally can't offer you that. But it was nice to speak to you. And can I just say, I do not promote, and we as do not promote pedophilia, and I can stand on that.
Then you go against Islam. Good.
No, I don't. Stop.
You're going against Allah's words.
Astaghfirullah.
Okay, look, Zaynab, before you go, look, because I want you to follow me, and I want you to watch the conversations that I have with Muslims. I want you to watch it and see how Muslims try to engage with certain things that I bring up. Okay? So I think it'll interest you, you know? So follow me and zoom.
Okay.
Okay?
Logic,
I will. Can I just...
How about,
go ahead.
How about we make, I mean, since she's here, if she has time, she can stay here and we bring someone to argue regarding the child marriage. What do you think? I mean, it's up to you about it.
Let her go. Let her go.
Yeah, you can have me here if you want, and I can listen, but it's up to you. Like, I mean, somebody said use your brain, Zaynab. Like, come on now. I'm using my intellect by telling people that I'm not educated enough. I think that's respectful, no?
I think that it's honorable. It shows your humility. Like, okay, I'm not knowledgeable to speak further on this, but don't let it rest there. Since you're not knowledgeable on this issue, get knowledgeable on this issue, and then make a decision. You know, that's what we're asking you to do.
What is what a decision on what? Like, would you
on whether or not this is a religion, right, that you can follow if it actually is teaching this. So what you need to come to this conclusion: does Islam actually teach this, as we were showing you? And if it does, you have to be consistent and condemn it, right? And any religion that teaches this, you would condemn. You know, so you need to, you know, inform yourself. Does it teach this or not? If it doesn't, of course, you know, you move on, learn other things. If it does, now you know that it does, and therefore you gotta condemn this stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree. King, can I just ask King whatever? No, peasant. Sorry. Sorry, I'm not gonna refer to. Sorry, I'm not referring to him as King. Habibi, are you ex-Muslim? Because you lot are so obsessed with Muslims. Are you an ex-Muslim?
Are you an ex-Muslim, Sylv? Peasant?
Are you?
Habibti, I am not an ex-Muslim.
Are you an apostate?
Second of all, I am a kafir, sallam. You know, I was born in the Middle East. Oh, she already got it. Yeah, you called it earlier.
I know you so well. Your people infiltrate. Because I know your people. Sorry. That was rude.
What do you mean, your people?
I mean, like, you know, Iraqi, some of the ones that are like, you know, not on it, they are some lovely people, but just have some very strong views. And I've come across them before. See, I already know your tactic, because when you started speaking Arabic, I picked up the dialect. You see, like, I already knew what was up. And then I was like, Iraqi. Anyway,
But
let me.
he was just sharing truth, eh? He was just sharing truth.
The thing is, I've had this conversation with Iraqis before, and they come with the same rhetoric, with the same stance, with the same Arabic, with the same line. So I was just like, yep.
But
Sounds like one of them.
he was different though. This was a different conversation, wasn't it?
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, yeah, keep coming through, keep watching. You're welcome to stay and watch as much as you want, and you can see how Muslims deal. Okay.
All righty. I gave you a follow.
Awesome. I
Oh,
appreciate
thank you. This wasn't a horrible conversation, so I appreciate that.
it. We keep it cool here. Look, I have my views. I have my beliefs. I don't hate anybody that disagrees with me. I don't hate them for it. We can have an honest conversation, we can do that.
Oh my God. Someone said I have a crush on you and that you'll convert me to whatever faith you're on. People are crazy.
I think they talk about Sil.
Who the hell is Sylv? Ew, nah. Gross. Oh, sorry, I don't marry peasants, you see. Anyways. Anyway, bye.
Those are marriageable words, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, my bar ain't that low. Okay. Alrighty.
All right. Take care, Zay.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. V, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you. So, you guys were talking about child marriage?
With her specifically, yeah. Is there another issue that you would like to touch on how Islam is not false?
Well, yeah, it doesn't promote child marriage.
Oh, okay. So what is it, does it allow it? Is child marriage allowed in Islam?
No.
Okay, so
I spoke with him already, Logic, and regarding child marriage, and
I think
I embarrassed him, and he ran to the Bible. But go ahead.
So you know I cooked you. Don't even start.
V, have we spoken on this before too? I feel like we have. Have we?
Yeah.
I feel like we have before.
We've talked about this.
Well, I don't know if it was on your live, but I've spoken with Sylv and maybe you a few times.
Yeah. Okay. So we know that we've talked to you about that before, but I remember how that went. It's all good. What about anything else, man? Why is Islam true? Give me a reason.
So you have prophecies, obviously.
Prophecies, okay. What's a prophecy that Islam gave?
You have many, like the mentioning of one of the Pharaoh's chiefs, right? Chapter 28, verse 38.
Okay, chapter 28, verse 38 prophesies of Pharaoh's
So
chief.
it mentions
Pharaoh?
Yeah, so it mentions one of the names of the chiefs of Pharaoh. So how would it know that?
By people telling him.
That's not a prophecy. A prophecy is telling the future, what is to come.
But they didn't
Not
know
what's
that.
in the past.
They didn't know that till they deciphered the Rosetta Stone.
Who didn't know that?
Who?
Oh man.
Scholars. Who else?
Hey guys, nobody knew anything about Egyptian history until the Rosetta Stone came out and got decoded.
No, I'm saying
Dang.
that specific part that wasn't rediscovered until they got the Rosetta Stone.
So rediscovered. So it was already known. Then the information just wasn't there. People didn't start looking for that information, and then it was rediscovered. But that's not a prophecy. Whatever it is, it's not a whatever it is.
Can he define prophecy, BD?
Someone just said,
Wait, I didn't.
the black stone, bro.
Where was I disrespectful?
No, I'm saying your whole I'm getting disrespected madly in the comments right now.
Hey guys,
Hold on. You're not talking with the comments. You're talking with us.
Let me
Talking with us.
guys in the comments section. Make sure you guys chill out. If he hasn't done anything to, exhibit any all that type of energy just yet. So keep it cool, please. Keep it cool.
Another comment literally just said it.
Yeah. So, guys,
I
make sure you guys
literally been paying attention, and I haven't seen a single
talk to
thing.
us, man. I mean, you're on TikTok. We know what happens on the internet. So like just
And then someone Ahmad just said he'll mute me. Ahmad just said he'll mute me, bro. Like what?
I am so sensitive, guys. Come on, man. I'm so sensitive.
I'm gonna be honest, Avery. I'm skimming through the comments. I haven't seen a single thing of what he's saying.
I didn't see that either.
Me neither. So
B, that's not a prophecy, man. Can you give us an actual prophecy?
Right.
Yeah. So can you prove that people told him?
We're talking about an actual prophecy, Habibi. Do you know what a prophecy is?
Yes. Can you prove that he copied?
So can you tell me what a prophecy is?
Yeah, a prophecy is a foretelling about something that's going to happen in the future.
Very good.
A prophecy.
So what is a prophecy in the Quran? What is something that it tells about the future and that it came true?
All right. I believe it was. I'm paraphrasing this. I don't know if it's the exact right verse. I believe it was either 1092 or 1094, where it mentions the preservation of Pharaoh's grave. So how would it?
Pharaoh?
According to historians or what they wrote down, they would say Ramses.
Hold on. Which Pharaoh?
The one at the time of Moses.
Ramesses was not at the time of Moses. Ramesses was not the pharaoh at the time of Moses.
I never said that was 100% confirmed.
Well, that's the body. That's the body of the pharaoh that they found is Ramesses, and Ramesses was not the pharaoh at the time of Moses.
Yeah, I never said it was confirmed.
Okay, so
you literally just said that it was a prophecy because they found his grave, and it fulfills this prophecy that Pharaoh's grave would not be destroyed. So even then, that's a prophecy that again is not quote unquote confirmed. So what is a confirmed prophecy to you, V?
I'm saying it's not confirmed that it was Ramses too. I'm saying the prophecy is confirmed. Right.
So which tomb are you talking about which fulfills this prophecy?
We don't know the exact tomb, right?
So how can you say that this is a fulfillment of the prophecy?
Because
apparently the Quran the Quran apparently is referring to a specific tomb, and this tomb shall not be destroyed, it shall be preserved.
It doesn't even say the tomb, and he butchered the verse. It says talks about Pharaoh's body. Okay.
Dang.
And so
I didn't even butcher the verse. When did I butcher the verse?
When you said that it says that the tomb of Pharaoh will be preserved, and they discovered Pharaoh's tomb. There's nothing to do with that. It has to do with his body. And the Pharaoh that they found is Ramesses, which is not the Pharaoh that the Quran is even talking about. That was Pharaoh at Moses' time.
There was many pharaohs that got discovered. So here's my question: how would the Quran know that Pharaoh's body would be preserved?
We haven't had any proof of such a thing happening.
Thanks for coming, B. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming, dog. Thanks for coming, my guy.
I don't know what it is with these kind of guys, but they just have this one script, and once you bring them off the script, they just turn off their brains.
Yeah.
Vav.
Welcome back.
Yes, I said Av, man. You don't know Latin?
No.
Come on, man. You should know Latin. Isn't it the earliest? Well, not the earliest, but it's one of the early writings of the Bible, no?
Yeah.
Do you know Latin?
Some of it. I'm Roman, bro. Come on.
So what does communicatio idiomatum mean?
I'm just the direct descendant of Gaius Julius Caesar, okay?
So what does communicatio idiomatum mean?
Communicato idiotum. Is it not talking with the idiot?
No. No, that's what I'm doing right now.
Is it?
You cooked you, bro. Come on, man.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love that. That's clever.
Anyway,
But,
I'm not
yeah,
here to
that's
insult. I'm not
not
here
the
to
way it
insult
works.
anyone. Okay.
All right, why is Islam true, bro?
I mean, first of all, I want to talk about the brother that was just here. All respect to you, Akhi. Please don't come on here when you don't know what you're talking about, bro. Like, you're talking about prophecies and then you're bringing up the past. And this guy unironically said Ramses the 2 instead of the second. Like,
Damn.
I love you, bro, but please, I love you, but please get your knowledge up, bro, please. Because you're just making yourself look stupid, bro. Like, not stupid, but you're just making yourself look ignorant. Because you are ignorant, but you can get your knowledge up. But Avery,
That's his
come on,
definition of communicatio idiomatum.
Avery, you know what you're doing, bro, keeping him on for that long. Like, I could go to Nigeria and find some random villager and be like, can you give me a demonstration of Trinity? And they start going into pluralism, I'll be like, oh, you're a heretic. They start going into partialism, I'll be like, oh, you're a heretic. They start going into modalism. You know what I'm saying? I could do that with any random person, right? And they'll be like, oh, look at these Christians, they don't know their own. But I'm not going to do that. Because that's not...
It's
That's
not
not
my
what we'll do.
I didn't go to him. He requested up.
Yeah, I know, but you could have kicked him a lot sooner when you knew he doesn't know what he's talking about, bro.
Well, wait, I had to give him a chance at least first.
Bro, he was talking about prophecies and then talking about the past, and you kept him up. Like,
So once we tried to like help him out to understand what the policy was,
nothing I said was racist, bro. I just said I just chose a country. Do you want me to say Italy? Like, what do you want me to do?
No, nobody said anything about racism.
No, it was a comment. It was a comment.
Forget the comments, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be live in like 30 minutes, guys, on YouTube.
Anyway, you were talking about child marriage earlier in the live, if I'm not wrong.
Child marriage in Islam, yeah.
Were you using that to say Islam is false?
Yeah.
So when Saint Augustine had an 11-year-old fiance, is his writings false?
I don't know anything about that. The Bible doesn't teach anything about. The Bible is very clear that you have to.
Can I please address this?
Yeah, go ahead if you want.
Alright, so he's talking about
Go
St.
ahead,
Augustine.
King.
Yeah, he's talking about St. Augustine. First of all, St. Augustine did not do anything with that, a young lady, and she was around 14 years old. So I don't know what you're talking about.
He wasn't 14.
Enter upon her. Hold on.
14.
Let me finish. He did not enter upon her at all. Okay, it was just an engagement. But then guess what? They got separated after that. Do not play this.
You're cutting out, King. But again, the point was, number one, a lot of the facts, the stuff that you claimed as facts is not the case. He never even engaged with this woman, as in like sexually or anything like that. Number two, Augustine admitted multiple times, especially in his book, The Confessions, that he was a sinner and a grave sinner, and therefore he was in need of God's grace. He admitted that such a thing was not okay, and it wasn't okay. However, your religion, it's not found particularly in one of your prominent people, as in like a prominent theologian, but it's found in the Acts of your prophet and particularly in your Quran, which is apparently, according to you, the words of God himself, the biggest moral authority and God's words himself, which promotes the very thing that you were saying is wrong. That's the difference.
Okay. First of all, she was 11 because he says that his fiancée was 2 years younger than the age of marriage in Rome. The age of marriage in Rome was 13. So 2 years younger would be 11, not 14, right? She's not a year older. She was 2 years younger. And just saying the age of marriage in Rome was 13, that proves culturally.
So what's your source?
What's my source? He wrote about it himself.
Yeah.
I can find the book.
No, the source of the age of marriage in Rome being 14.
Well, he says it himself.
But even then, because she does it. You literally just said that it's 2 years younger than the general age.
Yes.
But that's completely outside the point. Can you actually address the point that I pointed out between
I'm just
Augustine? Hold on. Because Augustine admits that it's wrong and it's a sin, while your religion and the greatest moral example and apparently the words of your God promotes it. we can say, yeah, Augustine was wrong, but your God promotes this thing.
About to malfunction. Okay. First of all, I'm just addressing everything point by point, right? He said she was 14. She wasn't 14.
Can you focus on the core point of the argument, please?
Okay, why can't I answer everything?
Because
I'll get to your one first. I'll get to your one first.
Because the latter part of all of this is completely irrelevant. A theologian is not the same thing as the greatest moral example and the words of your God. So can you address that, please?
Okay, I'm going to address it. I'll get to your one first for you. Yes, the Quran says that age of marriage is...
Hold on.
What?
Why do you always? Why is it that you guys always begin with insulting King Sylv? What's wrong with you?
I didn't insult him. What did I say that was insult?
You literally just called him queen.
Did I say queen?
They love to say that because they know that
I swear, wallahi, I didn't say queen. I think you misheard something I said, okay?
Yeah,
I did not mishear it.
I didn't say queen. I didn't hear him say queen, honestly. But maybe I'm tripping. I didn't.
Yeah, if I said queen, I'll tell you I said queen because
I didn't hear him say that.
I said, I don't even remember. Anyway, I said, yes, the Quran. I said Quran. Maybe you heard that as queen.
Yeah, he said Quran. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, the Quran says the age of marriage can be quite young. But that doesn't mean anything. How does that prove that Islam is false? Because, as I was saying, the age of marriage in Rome is 13. That proves culturally, the age of marriage is not 18, it's not 16, right? It was already quite young. And that's Europe. So if we're talking about Semites, including Jews, and you can see this even in Talmud, the book of Jewish law, it says a girl can get married as soon as she hits puberty to the age of 12 and 1 days without her permission by her father, right?
Yeah,
so that's Jewish law.
Our question to you is this. Is it ever okay for a grown man to sleep with a prepubescent girl, a girl before she hits puberty?
Before she hits puberty? No.
All right. So that's what we're saying. The Quran allows for relations with a girl before she hits puberty, bro.
No, it allows marriage to her before puberty.
No. So you're talking about 65:4, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So quote the verse where it says you can have intimate relations with a prepubescent girl.
It says that in divorcing her, she has an iddah. What's the iddah for?
Iddah is a period after divorcing them.
Yeah, but why?
Why? Because you divorced them.
Yeah, but what's the point of the waiting period? What's the point of it? The
point of it is so that that you can get back with her straight away without her needing to get married again and then get divorced.
No, it's to make sure she's not pregnant, bro. To make sure she's not pregnant.
Okay,
now, let me show you this. The Quran. Do you know what the Quran says about an iddah?
Show it, bro. Say it.
Chapter 33, verse 49. It says that when you are divorcing a believing woman and you have not touched her, you haven't had intercourse with her, there is no iddah prescribed for her. You can let her go free. So when you're divorcing her and you have not had sex with her, she does not have an iddah. That's chapter 33, verse 49. Now in 65:4, those girls who haven't hit puberty yet, they're being divorced and they have an iddah, which means that their husband slept with her.
No, because you can find in Al-Baqarah, divorced women shall wait as regards their marriage for 3 menstrual periods in chapter 2, verse 228. Right?
It has nothing to do with the...
If a woman does not menstruate, either because she's too young or too old, and she's past menopause, then her iddah is 3 months, right? So they still have an iddah. They still have an iddah even though they're not capable of being pregnant.
So I understand...
Sorry, I agree. But he's right. In 65:4 is a completion for Surah Al-Baqarah.
Exactly.
So that's what you're missing. Mm-hmm. You see, unless you're telling me your Quran is being redundant for no reason, but even Asbab al-Nuzul will tell you that this is a completion of that verse in Surah Al-Baqarah. So that's why the category number 1 and 2 and 3 have no menstruation. You see, all the 3 categories have no menstruation. One of them is due to older age. The second one is due being prepubescent. The third one is due the fact they are pregnant. Do you understand? The categories in 65.4 are absent of menstruation.
Sure, but we still have, in Islamic law, we still have Ida for women who can't be pregnant of 3 months.
But do you see?
That is correct.
You're saying,
That is correct.
You're saying that it's
No,
redundant.
he's
You're saying
correct.
that it's not relevant.
It's not the problem.
Dot.
How is that not
But
the
he
problem?
is correct.
Because you're saying Ida is
That's
only
not
for
the
the pregnant.
problem. That's not the problem,
No.
bro. That's not the issue.
He is correct. So
Yeah.
he is correct that because we believe menopause women cannot get pregnant. So what that means, idda is primarily for pregnancy, but also for other reasons. So unless you're telling me Allah doesn't know biology, and He doesn't know category 1 doesn't get pregnant, which is the menopause women, then idda is actually just the first defense per se, or first measure to measure about pregnancy, if that's the only reason, but it's not. You see, if you read the scholarship, they'll tell you idda is one of them, is primarily for pregnancy, but the second one,
but that one is longer than the 3 months.
Okay, yeah. The second one is because the husband might change his mind or something along those lines. So we know for a fact category 1 and 2 actualize the secondary reason, which is possibly the husband could change his mind. I'm granting you that Allah knows that the elderly won't get pregnant. I grant you that Allah knows prepubescent children don't get pregnant. I'm granting you these. You can throw Allah under the bus and say He doesn't know biology, and therefore He's given idda primarily for pregnancy. But I want to give you the full benefit of a doubt here and tell you, yeah, you're right. Idda isn't primarily idda is also for secondary reasons. And that is correct.
Yeah, so what's the problem? I don't understand what your problem with me saying Ida is not just for pregnancy is.
No, you missed the point. The point is these girls have been consummated with.
You don't have an idda if you haven't been consummated with, dude. The Quran is clear on that. No hitta, no idda.
No, that's not true, because in all 4 madhabs, we agree if the man and woman have been married, right, but they haven't consummated, but they've been alone together in where they could have consummated, the woman still has to observe it.
You are correct again. You are correct again, Dot. That is correct. So this is what, like, you're missing the point. The point still remains that this prepubescent child was at some point at her husband's house alone. The only reason that you're appealing that possibly nothing happened, but that possibly never happened is just possibly never happened. The mere fact that you're Allah allowing a prepubescent child to be alone in a marriable or marriage structure is just wrong at the essence of what we're saying. Again, you are correct. Everything you're saying is 100% correct, but you're strawmanning it. You're saying, "Oh, nothing happened." How do you know? The only reason that the khilwa, or the fact that they're being alone, because that's according to Ibn Kathir too in 3349, that idda is given exactly what you said. The moment the wife and the husband are alone at home, whether he touched her or not, you give her idda. But there's nothing, absolutely nothing, stops the husband from touching the child at his house. Give me one good reason after they're alone at home that he's not going to touch her.
You can see even from the Prophet ﷺ's marriage to Aisha, he didn't consummate the marriage with her straight away. He delayed the consummation, right? That proves that just because you marry a girl when she's prepubescent doesn't mean it's permissible to consummate the marriage with her when she's prepubescent. Yes or no?
First of all, Aisha did not consummate the marriage with her, and second of all, she started bleeding
Did you just say he
the
didn't
war.
consummate the marriage?
Let me
Sorry, what?
just please finish. Hold on. Let me just finish. He consummated the marriage at a 9, but that doesn't mean that she reached the years of menstruation, because during the war of Tabuk, do you know the war of Tabuk when she was 16 years old? That's when she started bleeding, according to Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani's book, Fath al-Bari. I could even show it to you. Okay? When she reached 9, Aisha, that does not mean that she reached the years of menstruation. Okay, Habibi? Just because he waited 3 years, that doesn't mean anything. He waited 3 years to check and see if it's gonna fit in her private part. Okay? If it's gonna chip in. This is the reason why he waited 3 years, Habibi. Okay?
Just don't straw man your own belief, man.
I'm not sure, man, in anything, bro. You guys
Okay.
are like denying everything I say. Avery is saying that when you marry the girl,
I agreed with you. I
yeah,
agreed with you.
But I'm
Okay, so you wait, hold on. So you agree?
going in a tangent.
Okay, so you agree a child is permissible to enter an adult house and be married to him and be alone.
Of course, that's even in Jewish law.
Okay, is there anything that stops
Like,
the man?
so are you
please
denouncing
answer the
the
following
early
question.
church? Are you denouncing
No,
the
no.
early church as well now?
The early church has nothing to do with this yet.
How does not have anything to do with this? You're Christian, yes or no?
Because an attack, a false attack on Christianity,
That's not a
isn't
false
a
attack,
defense. Okay, well, we'll see. A false attack on Christianity isn't a defense of Islam. So answer the following question. Since you answered the first question correctly, is there anything that stops the husband from touching the child since she is married to him and he is married to her, and it's completely lawful for him to touch her? Is there anything for him to stop him from touching her? We're not talking about intercourse yet. Touching her. Sex in a sex manner.
You just said we're not talking about intercourse, then you bring up sex. Like, that is the same thing.
No. There's a lot of things could happen before like full on intercourse, right? Is there anything that stops him from fondling her?
Sure, because if it's not permissible for you to have intercourse with someone, how is it permissible for you to do, I don't know, like, I don't want to get the live band, but oral sex, how does that become permissible even though you can't do intercourse with them? Like, you have no evidence or source saying that is permissible when intercourse is not permissible.
I actually do.
Okay,
I actually do. So Kuwait have actually issued a fatwa saying that you can do. Yes.
How is that for the Sahaba?
And then, yeah, sure. I have al-Qadi saying la yamna, or it's not. There is nothing prohibit the husband from al-istimta'u biha, the enjoyment of the husband of her. And we can see that being regurgitated and being okay the moment the child is at her husband's house. The other, if she cannot, then he can do everything else, and that is enough to charge Islam with pedophilia. 100%. The pedophilia doesn't start or doesn't get charged only by the actual intercourse. The mere fact that you touch a child with the intent, then that is it. You are a PDF. That's it. You don't go to court just because you only had intercourse. You go to court if you do everything else too.
Yeah.
You gotta understand. Like, this is, yeah.
You're attacking Islam not on the basis of.
So you're saying
you're attacking it on the basis of what? US law, UK law, like what?
Dad, Habibi, you're asking for evidence, correct? Let me show you what Sahih Muslim Bisharh al-Nawawi. Do you know who Sahih Muslim Bisharh al-Nawawi?
Yes, go ahead.
Beautiful. Let's get to the sources, Habibi. Yallah. Now you want to play the game of there is no sources. Let's get to bottom of it, Habibi. Okay, Hayati, Habibi. Do you see the book? Sahih Muslim Bisharh al-Nawawi. Correct?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, correct.
Beautiful. What does the page here says? 206.
Okay, جواز تزويج الأب البكر الصغيرة, right? Beautiful حبيبي. وإما
Go on the land.
hold on. وإما وقت الزفاف الصغيرة المزوجة, during the time of the little child want to get married, a young one, والدخول بها, to be entered upon, فإن اتفق الزوج, if the husband agrees, والأولى على شيء لا ضرر فيه, if the husband agrees on something that will not destroy her private part, that will not cause harm to her, على الصغيرة, okay, then you could give it away. It's okay, as long as it does not destroy her private part. Okay. Then what does it say if they disagree? Hold on, let me finish.
No, I've read the source, but
let me finish, yeah, Habibi. Let me finish.
For the life.
It's okay. Take it easy. Let me finish. Then what does Ahmed bin Hanbal wa Abu Ubaid says? Ahmed bin Hanbal is one of the giant scholars, by the way. Him and Abu Ubaid. تجبر على ذلك بنت 9 سنين. Ahmed bin Hanbal and Abu Ubaid says, once she reaches 9 years old, she will be forced to bear intercourse, as sexual intercourse. This is according to Ahmed bin Hanbal wa Abu Ubaid, one of the giant scholars, by the way. Now we could go to the four madhahib, Habibi, which I have on a screen. Just give me 1 second. I'm about to go ahead and pull it up. There we go.
Ahmad ibn Hanbal is one of the madahib, by the way.
Hold on 1 second. What does المسألة الثالثة talks about? تسنيم الصغيرة, giving the little child one, for her husband to pleasure her or to enter upon her. الصغيرة لزوجها الاستمتاع بها. What does it say, the ruling regarding the giving the little child one for her husband to pleasure her, to enter upon her? لا تسلم الصغيرة التي لا تطيق الوطء. Do not give the little child one if she cannot handle it, if her private part cannot handle it, if it will not destroy her private, do not give her away for her husband to pleasure her. And what is this regarding what the matter? وهذا باتفاق المذاهب الفقهية الأربعة الحنفية والمالكية والشافعية والحنابلة. This is an agreement upon the four madhahib, the four school of thought, the jurisprudence that you love to go to a little bit ago, and they all agree as long as it does not destroy her private part, as long as it will not cause harm to her, then that's fine, give her away. Now, did she reach the puberty at that time, Habibi?
Did she reach the puberty at the time of what? When she was physically mature enough?
Well, it doesn't say physically mature. It says only if it will fit in her private part, will not cause harm to her. This is according to four madhahib, and we can see
yes, physically mature
as well. Where does it say mature?
So you're not mature when you're able to have intercourse. Is that what you're claiming?
Yeah, Habibi. Where is mature? Ya hayati. Show me where it says mature according to the rulings of the little
so
child.
You're doing verbatim fallacy right now.
It's not that I'm doing a verbatim fallacy. I'm showing you what the scholars says.
No,
the
where does it say word for word mature, bro? I'm telling you, it says when she's physically able to handle the intercourse, aka physically mature. That would be what everyone on the planet says is a synonym.
Not physically mature, but when it will fit in her private part, that means when it will chip in her private part, then give it away. If it's not gonna fit in her private part, do not give it away. Do not destroy her private part, okay? As long as it will not destroy her private part, do not give it up. But if it's not gonna destroy her private part, give it away. But if it will destroy her private part, do not give it away. Yes.
Yes,
okay.
Another we said, Malik, Shafi, and Abu Hanifa said the limit of that is when she is able to have intercourse, which varies from person to person. So
what does it mean for a young girl to be able to have an intercourse? Tell me, Habibi. What is the rule?
When she's physically mature, bro.
Where does it say that? Can you show me that?
So why do you keep going to the verbatim fallacy?
Can you show me where the four madhahib says, as long as she's physically mature and everything, then she could bear intercourse? Show me that.
Malik, An-Nawawi says, Malik, Shafi, and Abu Hanifa said the limit of that is when she's able to have intercourse.
Where does it say that?
It's my own source. An-Nawawi says this.
لا تسلم الصغيرة التي لا تطيق الوطء.
And even your source is saying, when she's able to handle the intercourse. Yes?
Habibi dad. Do you know what does it mean لا تطيق الوطء?
Yes. Bro, so
what does it mean لا تطيق الوطء?
But bro, I don't know Arabic, but I understand what your source is saying.
Exactly.
I read the source.
You don't know Arabic, but yet you wanna
I read the source. I know the exact source. Yeah, Habib, I know the exact source that you're reading.
Habibi, لا تطيق الوطء is talking about a little child one if she cannot handle it. What does it mean for a little girl that she cannot handle it? Because we know for a fact the rulings, the matter is talking about giving the little child one for her husband to pleasure her. What is the ruling? It says, do not give it away if she cannot handle it. What does it mean that she cannot? That means it will not destroy her private part. If
Yes,
it's gonna
she's
destroy her
not.
private
So
part,
you keep
do
going
not
in a
give it
circle.
away.
That means she's not physically mature enough. You keep going in a circle.
Oh, so okay. So if it will fit in her private part, then give it away, correct?
Yes, man.
Okay, that's it,
She's
guys.
able to handle the intercourse.
So, and then Dot, you're okay with this?
She's able to handle the intercourse.
You're okay with this?
Are you okay with Mary giving birth at the age of 12?
Hold on, don't run. Are you okay with this?
Yes, are you okay with Mary giving birth at the age of 12?
Thank you so much, guys. This guy just
Are you
proved
okay
our
with
point.
Mary giving birth at the age of
Seth
12?
is dying.
Are you okay with Mary giving birth at the age of 12?
First of all, Mary, she was not 12. Nowhere
How
says
old
in the
is she?
Bible that
How
she
old
was
is she?
12.
How old is she? 18?
Let me finish. let me finish your manifesting right now. I know this. Nowhere says that Mary she was 12. First of all, second of all, it was a miracle, due to a miracle that happened. Okay, so stop running to Mary because it ain't gonna help you. Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate you for actually coming up. You just proved. We appreciate you for coming up. You just proved our point, guys. This is crazy. Y'all actually heard it from this guy. What did he say? He said, as long as it will fit in her private part, okay, then give it away. If it's not going to destroy her private part, do not give it away. Y'all saw it, guys. Y'all see it, man. It's life. Y'all see what I'm talking about? This is the people that are okay with it. Okay? They're okay with pedophilia, guys. And this is Islam for you guys, by the way. This is what Islam is. I mean, you can't make this up, guys. You cannot make this up.